So this is a time when we can hear what God's doing that we may not be seeing with our own eyes. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's start with prayer. All right. Good.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Just gonna let the Lord say what He wants me to say and go from there. But I'll give a quick backstory. As he already said, my name is Rachel Armstrong. I have been born and raised here in Olathe. I grew up in a single-parent home, my dad and two brothers. So I grew up without my mom around 4 or 5, and grew up, like I said, here in Olathe. Went to Olathe North. I don't know if there's any Eagles in here, that's a long time ago. But anyway, grew up in church. Grew up in Church of God in Christ, and that too is a denomination, which I don't want to get too all into that, but that believes in deliverance and all of that. But when I first came to Freedom Fighters, the first thing, I actually spoke to Mike, and the first thing that dropped in my spirit was that, you grew up in church, but you didn't grow up in Christ. And if anybody's familiar with the author Kyle Eidelman, he wrote the book Not a Fan, and that was one of the examples that he gave. Was somebody told him, hey, I realized that I grew up in church, but didn't necessarily grow up in Christ. My first encounter with God, I will never forget it. I was 14, and I was at the church that I grew up in. And that was my first encounter with God. I gave my heart to Him, but I lived a life of broken fellowship with Him, and I just, got myself into different situations, very promiscuous, very, full of lust and perversion, and at the age of 21, and I'll get to this freedom session part in a second, but at the age of 21, I had an abortion. And that was another thing that, the enemy just was gladly piling on the oppression, piling on the guilt, piling on the shame. And, I was just in a very broken place. And I had a sister. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. When I was about 6 or 7, I prayed and I asked God for an older sister because I'm growing up in a house full of men. I don't have, so I'm like, I want an older sister. I want this, I want that. And over time, He had sent me a family all the way from the Caribbean. They had come from the Caribbean and they had come here to go to church where I was, a member at that time where I was growing up. And so we had connected. And we had built a foundation of very strong relationship. And over time, we had started traveling together for missions and for ministry. We've been to every continent just about except for Antarctica and Asia. But we had gone to different places, and we had, the Lord had allowed us to go to those different places. Well, over time, again, because I had dealt with issues that were in me, and I vary a lot. I was one person who liked to, if I say something's okay, it's okay. I sweep it under the rug. Don't talk about it. I don't deal with it. I don't face it. I don't confront it. And so all this stuff started building up. So over time, we're still traveling in missions and everything, and then this just a couple of years ago, and we have been traveling, I've known her 20 years, and sorry. So a couple years ago, I betrayed her trust in a way that I never thought I'd do. Never thought I would betray the trust of somebody that I loved. I mean, this family took me in as their daughter, as their sister, as an aunt, everything. I was in the family. I was a part of the family, but again, because there were issues in me that I never dealt with, I turned around and I betrayed her trust. And one of the things I told you I hadn't dealt with to the core, because the enemy will make you think, you've already dealt with certain things. But the problem is, God told me too, He said, you're dealing so much with the fruit, I need you to get to the root. I need you to uproot some things, because you're doing so much with all this fruit that you're seeing. I need you to get to the root. And so, because I hadn't done that, I started, lashing out on her and displaying, disrespectful behavior and just all kinds of things, rebellious. And this is out on missions, mind you. And anybody who's been out on missions, you know you can't play. When you're going outside of the U.S., you cannot play with that territory. When you're going in somewhere, you're trying to tear down regions of demons and you're trying to take down a kingdom of darkness, you cannot play. But because I had dealt with it again, I was leaving myself open in so many areas. And the ministry open to so many different things because I wasn't dealing with things. And so over time, like I said, I betrayed her trust, and gosh, it's almost difficult for me to hear myself saying this, but I know God has set me free, so I'm going to say it. I made a pass at her husband. It was somebody that was my brother. And I made a pass at him, and not only that, I lied about something so perverted, even on the man that I call my dad. Not my biological dad, this is the one from that family too, that had taken me in, but it was just so much. And I look back on it now, and I'm like, my God, how much did I not deal with? How much did I really not face? And so fast forwarding here, and I come to Freedom Fighters, and when I tell you from the first session, and a lot of times I'll say this, a lot of times I would come to these sessions and I'll say, okay, God, okay, I feel like I'm going to deal with this. I feel like I'm going to deal with that. Okay, I'll probably deal with that person. Every time, I kid you not, every time I sat in that chair, it was something from way, way back. Way yonder, as they say, way back. And something I didn't think about for years and years and years, but he said, this is what you're going to deal with today. This is what you're going to deal with here. And so from the very first session, I dealt with the wound of my mother and the spirit of rejection that was so heavy on me. And just to give that little story, I hadn't really talked to my mom. We didn't really have a relationship. But that had started to come back to from the last of 2017. We finally started to, I had to go to her and I had to talk to her and say, hey, this hurt. I mean, you hurt me. You weren't there. Like, I literally just had to lay it all out on the line, and we spoke. And she shared with me some things, and now I understand maybe why she wasn't in my life as I thought she should have been, But I could see it from her perspective, and I could open my heart, and I could forgive her, and I could love her wholeheartedly in that moment, because I was just like, okay, God, I now see. So we're starting to kind of patch that relationship up. And my sister and I, the one from the Caribbean, we've kind of patched our relationship up, although, that's going to take some time. That's a process. I understand that. If you're going to betray somebody's trust, you're going to have to take some time to earn it back, So I understand that. But so those relationships are starting to mend, and I'm so grateful to God. And I know Freedom Fighters is part of that thing, because, like I said, from the first session, there's been healing from rejection and from abandonment and the lust and the perversion, like all of that. And this last session that I had, the session prior to this last session was the conception. Oh my gosh. I've never in my entire life, even as I said, growing up in church, I've never experienced something so powerful in my life. Where they go through every month, you go through every month in the womb and then allow Christ to present you. It's a totally different, oh my gosh, it's a totally different outlook on life. It's a totally different outlook on who God's called you to be. Because when Christ births you, when he's there, he's birthing you out, he's like, this is who I called you to be. Now you might have taken on all these labels over the course of your life, but now that you're here in this moment, this is who I called you to be. And even from conception, you can stand up and say, oh my God, Lord, I thank you. And then when they tell you to, basically hold yourself and look at yourself and start declaring who God's called you to be. Oh my gosh, if I could just run around this room right now, I would. It's so amazing how God takes that woman from the time of conception and says, no, you're taking on all these labels over your life. You're taking on all this negativity because you allowed Satan to put those labels on you. I never called you that. I never said you were lonely. I never said you were rejected. I never said you were abandoned. I said you are loved. I said you are mine. I said you are beloved of me. Take on my labels. Take on my love. Take on my identity for you. Don't take on the other stuff. And so even over the course of all that, just going through that, and then in this last session, dealing with the abortion that I had. You know, the devil wanted, when I say he did not want to, allow me to let that go that day. It was just, he wanted me to keep it on me. Like, he literally wanted it to stay as a part of my identity, saying, you are a murderer. You are a murderer. Like, he literally wanted that identity to become me. And I had to fight through that. There were so many things that kept calling out, and at one point there was something, I don't remember exactly what it is, thank God. I don't remember what it is, but when they spoke it out, they said, I don't want you here anymore. It was like, it would not let me speak it. And I was like, Holy Ghost, I need you to help me right now. Like, even in this, I need you to help me. And so finally I said it, and I've been delivered. And even standing before you right now, if you had told me I was going to do this sometime last year, I looked at you like, yeah, right. But when just taking on the freedom of Christ has been just that, freedom. It's been liberating. And I thank God for each and every one of you in this building who take the time to pull people through, to work with them. Because a lot of times people may not, they may not even know what the first step is. They may not know. And for me, growing up, like I said, in a church who does things, they're totally different. Not to say people weren't free, because they were. But when you come here and you sit in those rooms, and the amount of love that's just there, the power of God that's just there, ready to set you free, you can't help but be free. So, even in this room, just declaring that, whom the Son of Man has set free, he is free indeed. Like, there's no doubt. No doubt in our heart and our minds that you have been set free. And so, there may be another time, but let me stop because I'll keep going. And that's another thing. I'm talking in certain settings, but this one, I don't know if I would have done it before, but I'm grateful to God for this opportunity. Mike, I thank you so much. Everybody, what you're doing is powerful. When you go into those rooms and you're preparing your heart and mind for the people who are coming in, it sets the atmosphere, and it allows God to come in. And it allows it, because that's the choice we have to make. We have to allow him to come in. He's a gentleman. He's not going to force his way into making us do anything. He's not going to force his way into anything. And when we come in with a humble heart and say, God, help this person, help this individual that's coming, so that we can pull them through, so that you can set them free, and so that you can be glorified, and so that you can be uplifted. All gets directed right back to him. But I thank God for this time, and I'm excited about what's next and what's to come. So, God bless you.